We're rolling on day 2 of the CIT, and now it's time for game 2 here at Geisman Gym. We're fired up. It's Concordia, Chicago. It's Concordia, Ann Arbor. I feel like we just did that. But yeah, that was on the women's side. Now we get the men's consolation game. The Cougars and the Cardinals will go at it. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill will bring you all the action. So happy to bring it to you here on the Cougar Sports Network. So let's line this up, starting with the Cougs. Tough day yesterday, a 106-74 loss, their second loss in 10 days to Concordia, Wisconsin. The offense just hasn't been there during this 4-game losing streak for the Cougars after back-to-back 100-point games. And yesterday, it was the three-point shooting, Carter.
And the three-point shooting, that's been something that's really got this team excited all year. Only 20% from it. It was not a very high number, and they were just forcing a lot of shots. It was uncharacteristic of them at times, but hopefully a good night's rest tonight might regroup them and get ready for another battle against a good Concordia Ann Arbor team.
Yesterday, only 5 threes for the Cougars, but 3 of them came from Rashawn Amos, who now has 12 straight games in double figures, transfer from Blackburn College. He came over with Coach Collar, and boy, has he been a welcome addition to the squad.
And he's been such a great addition to this team because of the offensive adrenaline that he's added to him. He had 17 points yesterday, and like you mentioned, 3 or 4 from deep, and he's been electric. He's the one that where the ball needs to go to him. It's really his calling, and he's been taking over the offense, and we're going to look to him again today for if the Cougars are going to have to pull against the Cardinals.
We got the teams warming up behind us. About 4.5 minutes to the anthem. By the way, are these considered polka dots, or would you just call them regular dots? Regular dots? Okay, well, let's move on to the Cardinals then, with that serving its little transition. Yesterday they took on Nebraska, 79-57 loss, and their big man, Paul Zisk, who a lot of the offense is centered around, just 2 points.
Right, the 6'9" big man that we talked about so heavily coming into this tournament. He set the program record last year as a junior for the most effective shooting season. He only went 1 for 7 from the field, and it's been crazy to see how the Bulldogs were able to shut down a man of such great size in a big game. So it's going to be, again, a big calling on the Cougars, who are going to face another height disadvantage for guys like Landon Gladney, Charlie Resnikoff to step up big time and take on that big man.
20 points yesterday for Gladney. He's still working his way back into the lineup. He was nursing an ankle sprain. He's back. Yesterday looked pretty good.
And he looked really good. He was making some really nice moves in the post. He was step-back jumpers. He looked really good and excited to be out here. And that's what you need out of the freshman, that one freshman conference player of the year last year. So it's really going to be important for Gladney to step up again and fill that role in the post and be that versatile forward that the Cougars desperately need.
Zooming out, this Cougar program, the men's program, hasn't won a CIT game since they won the CIT tournament back in 2011. It's consolation, of course, but still, a win in this game would mean what for Steve Collar's team?
It would be a monumental moment for him, really making his mark on the program and making a huge win for him, because as a first-year head coach, the one thing you want to do when you get faced with a task like CIT is make your mark, and hopefully he can come away today with a good win.
What's a key matchup you're looking at one-on-one?
I'm looking at Gladney and Sis. That's going to be a crazy matchup the whole day. It's going to be big man against another big man. Obviously, Zisk's going to have a little more muscle on Gladney, but I think Gladney's athleticism is going to allow him to be a little bit better on the offensive side today for the Cougars.
So that's the battle in the paint. If we look in the backcourt, a pair of guards yesterday, Gerald Booker and Greg Alexander, both in double figures for the Cardinals. They provide a little speed, a little shiftiness, and good shooting on the outside, and it's going to be up to Amos and company to contain him.
Yeah, and it is. It's going to be very important for him because Greg Alexander, he loves diving in to get the ball when it goes up off the backboard. He had 5 rebounds yesterday for the Cardinals, so it's going to be really important for him to keep doing that if the Cardinals want to get in penetration and try to get those second chance points off the offensive boards.
So this Cougar team was rolling. They had, at the beginning of January, back-to-back games with 100 points. They were on a 3-game win streak and actually nearing the top of the NAC in terms of the standings. But before yesterday, they hadn't cracked 70. Yesterday, a blowout loss to Concordia, Wisconsin. Carter, you're someone who's followed the team all year, so tell the people at home kind of the ebb and flow of the last 7 to 10 games, it's been a little roller coaster-ish. Right now in this down period, what's gone wrong and how do you get out of the rut here in the CIT?
What's gone wrong is they haven't been as explosive as we're used to. We've seen an offense that averages close to 82 points a game just fall out without any production from the regular shooters, and it's been in large part because they've been forcing shots in transition, trying to get back into games where really it's going to take more than 1 or 2 possessions to get them back in. So look for them today, especially against a big Cardinals team, to run an offense that has been proven effective in NAC conferences, like we saw in a couple games earlier. We've seen against Lakeland, we've seen against Aurora. When they even beat number 24 Benedictine at the beginning of the year, that was because they were moving the ball rather than just trying to stay still and take shots.
We're about 3 minutes away from tip between the Cougars and the Cardinals. Men's consolation game right around the corner here on the Cougar Sports Network. It'll be raucous, popping here inside Geisman Gym, and we'll have all the action for you in a few moments on the Cougar Sports Network. All right, folks, welcome back inside our broadcast booth. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill lining it up for game 2 of 4 today. The men's third place game between the Cougars of Chicago and the Cardinals of Ann Arbor. So happy to have you all along for the ride in this game yesterday and all night long. Let's introduce the starting lineups for both teams. Starting with the visiting Cardinals, their lead man, Ricky Yan, in his 7th season at CUAA. He's a 2-time CIT champ who can't win it this year, but he's looking to take down Concordia in this tournament for the 2nd year in a row. And his starting lineup looks like this. Bernard Casanda, the 5'11 sophomore out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, gets a start in the backcourt, alongside Greg Alexander, senior out of Middle River, Maryland, and Gerald Booker, senior out of Southfield, Michigan. In the front court, it's Jordan Winowecki, a Fraser, Michigan native and a sophomore, alongside the big man down under, Paul Zisk, who was limited at just 2 points yesterday, but the 6'9 senior, out of Somerset, Michigan, will look to right the wrongs in the starting lineup today. And now here's Steve Collar starting 5. Collar, in his first season at the helm of the CUC program, brings out a starting lineup that looks like this today. And it all starts with Rashawn Amos, who transferred from Blackburn College to Concordia University with his coach, Steve Collar. Rashawn, a senior out of St. Louis, will start in the backcourt with Zio Golding, 5th-year senior transfer out of Windermere, Florida. Brent Hatton, sharp shooting, 6'4 freshman out of Olney, Illinois. Neil O'Donnell, Braidwood, Illinois native and senior captain of the squad. And Landon Gladney, a 6'5 sophomore out of Chicago, who dropped 20 yesterday. Both teams dropped their Friday night matchups. Concordia falling 106-74 to Wisconsin. And Nebraska took down the Concordia Ann Arbor Cardinals, who are wearing the blacks right now, 79-57. Ricky Jan's team on one side, Steve Kohler's team on the other side. It's Zisk against Gladney. Gladney wins, and we're underway. Amos with the ball, gives it to O'Donnell. Carter Gledhill, what's your number one key to this game?
Key to the game, I think, for the Cougars is just going to have to be relaxed and wait for an opportunity to attack, because you see the Cardinals are already moving pretty fast on the defensive side.
Amos misses the three. Zisk snags the board, and here come the high-flying Cardinals. Paul Zisk, that big man in the paint, draws a lot of attention on offense. Just 2 points yesterday, but he's their field goal percentage leader, almost 60% from the field, as this three is way off. Gerald Booker missed it. And now it's Cougar basketball. So O'Donnell will bring it up the court for Concordia Chicago, looking for its first CIT win since 2011 when they won the whole darn thing. Amos rocking the pink socks. What do you think of those bad boys?
I like them. Good luck. I think he wore the pink yesterday, too.
O'Donnell swooping in. Just kind of ended up with a little present.
Yeah, a little present there, put it up there. Nice way to get off from the start of the game.
Casanda gives it up. Alexander down low to Zisk. This is Carter's matchup to watch, Zisk against Gladney. And now we're back on the outside near half court with Casanda igniting the offense. 10 to go, and outside it's Booker bullying his way into the paint. He missed, Hatton got it. Cougar ball with Amos. Rashawn to the hoop. He was fouled on the floor. Greg Alexander got him. Golding, step back, and Zio always so smooth with that move.
And you see him displaying his athleticism too. Understand he's not going to get through Zisk right there, so why not pull around and do a nice little fadeaway jumper.
Alexander dumps it off to Zisk against Gladney, and Landon wins that battle.
And the struggles continue for Zisk. As you can see, it's frustration. There's a little baby hook right there from like 5 feet out is still not falling for him.
Game one as Hatton misses the three. Casanda speeding up the court. He was fouled, and he'll have 2 chances. Game one today was the women's consolation, Ann Arbor against Chicago. And it was a 76-63 win for the Cardinals. So the Cougars will look to get revenge on behalf of their teammates, because they're all part of the same team, different teams within one friendly athletic program. Let's see if Casanda can deliver the first points for the Cardinals. He buries it. And now it's Cougar ball with a 3-point lead. And Golding will bring it up the court. Zio, a 5th-year senior from sunny Florida, down in Windermere outside of Orlando. And the Illinois kid, O'Donnell, with the ball. Down low, Gladney puts it off the glass and in. Good offensive start for Concordia. It's Zisk outside to Casanda. Teardrop floater, too strong, board to Hatton. Cougs pushing the tempo. Amos a tray. Too short, Gladney right back with it. And he's fouled on the second chance.
You see just how athletic Gladney's been, and see, even if he has given up a little couple of inches to this, he's still able to use his body and get in front of him. That's what makes him so effective on the offensive rebounds.
Timeout called by Ricky Jan. Full timeout, and we'll take a pause. Great early start for the Cougar offense. We'll be back with more right here on the Cougar Sports Network. back at it from Geisman, where Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Sam Brief and Carter Gledhill on hand for day 2 of the CIT. 6-1, early lead for the homestanding Cougars. And my friend, all the damage done in the paint so far.
Yeah, 6 points for the Cougars and 6 on the board because of all in the paint. And you see just how fast they are. They're not so much of the bigger teams and like bigger size, but it's because of their athletic ability just to sneak inside there and get those boards and put them back up.
Landon Gladney misses. Free throws were an issue in yesterday's loss to Wisconsin. Cougars were just 3 of 9 from the charity stripe. They didn't get many opportunities, but the ones they did get, they mostly missed. Here's Gerald Booker.
You see Booker, just like the size that he has, he's built very well, and you see him just attacking the middle of the paint. He had 12 points yesterday in their loss to the Bulldogs.
Now it's O'Donnell, whipping it. Amos, missing it. Golding, unable to convert. Cardinal ball, 2 subs here. Charlie Resnikoff into the game. Dwayne Burns also comes in. Burns 4 total points on the season, and Resnikoff, one of the senior leaders out of Wilton, Connecticut. Down low at Zisk, trying to body up Hatton, and Zisk will win that battle.
And you see there, that's just the senior putting a little moves on the freshman right there. Hatton, though, he might be in that situation a lot more today.
Hatton, a freshman at 6'4", so there's a 5-inch difference between him and Zisk. With Gladney on the bench, it looks like it's Hatton's job to contain the big boy right now. As Tyler Black comes in for Cassanda. Black, a Grand Rapids native. 45 steals last year, led the team, and he'll apply the pressure on O'Donnell. Neal, little shimmy, top of the key, stops on a dime, turns and passes. In the corner, it's Burns, bouncing for Resnikoff, bodying up in the paint. Here's Charlie missing, and Zisk the board. Here come the high-flying Cardinals. Quick tempo up the court. Black, scoop layup, no good. Resnikoff board. This high-flying tempo continues. Burns Jr. against Zisk. He's rejected at the rim. The other way now, Booker. Fouled. O'Donnell got him. And Amos and Gladney set to check in alongside the sharpshooting Isaac Rudell.
Rudell yesterday, though, he didn't call his name much because he didn't put up a shot. The NAC leader in 3-pointers percentage, he put up no shots yesterday, and that was something that was pretty shocking to me when I was watching the game.
Yeah, Rudell entering this tournament with a 57% success rate from 3. As he gets up from his squat, he'll check in. For the Cardinals, Alexander out, and Matt Lockhart checks in, Fraser, Michigan native. Tell you a little bit about Ricky Yan, the 7th-year head coach for Concordia Ann Arbor. He comes from Cornell University in upstate New York, up in Ithaca. He was an assistant coach there for the Big Red. Moved on to Longwood University, and he was also previously a video coordinator at George Mason under one Jim Larinaga. Legendary head coach who led George Mason to the Final Four in the early 2000s. Now at the U down in Coral Gables, Florida. Outside, the new man Lockhart misses. Amos board, pushing in transition now. Burns nearly lost it. Cougars holding on to a 1-point lead, and now Gladney makes it 3.
Nice job, Gladney, though, finding the hole in the zone. Great effort there.
What does Gladney do to this lineup, having that big presence available offensively and defensively?
Well, you see, Gladney, he could be acting as whatever you want. He could be that big man, but he could also be the skilled shooter, as we've seen he's so good at in the 15-foot range, like he demonstrated when we earlier saw the reverse that he put on Zisk. So he adds another dimension of the offense that's just more than that big man role that we've seen already grow in the game of basketball in the past couple of years.
What a spin move from Charlie.
And speaking of big man moves, that was fantastic spin around by Reznikov. He had a lot of energy yesterday, too, giving a little finger wag to the defender.
Yeah, what was that finger waggle? A little energy from Rezzy.
He had 12 points yesterday, and he also had a lot of changing moments. I think he had 2 charges yesterday as well, so he's going to do anything for his team.
Lockhart up and under. Little burst offensively for Matt Lockhart with the reverse layup after a 3. And Reznikov whistled for a travel. Colton Rietzma into the game. He'll replace Zisk, getting a much-needed rest. Paul Zisk. Burns Jr. a little too antsy.
Burns Jr. 4 points yesterday. Career high for him.
Alexander in for Booker. And Ricky Yan saying, get out, to Matt Lockhart, who is set to inbound. He wants Emmanuel Dominguez to inbound. Senior out of Groveland, Florida. And Yan is beside himself on the bench. Cougar ball. Amos streaking up the court. He pulls up. Good defense from Lockhart, clapping his hands. Now it's Rudell. Will he call his own number? Yes, but a bit too strong on the lay-in. Cougars get it right back. Gladney looking to settle things down. Amos, 3, bang!
What a great duo there between Amos and Reznikov. You see Reznikov setting a little ball screen right there for Amos to fake the drive and step back behind the arc.
What a collision. Good thing there's padding right there. Burns Jr. went flying, so did Lockhart. It's a push on Burns Jr., Concordia foul, and it looks like Dwayne's banged up, holding his chest. And the 5'7" Kenta Jones, senior, checks in. Jones has missed 1 3 this year, 5 for 6 from behind the arc. He doesn't play much, but in the spurts he does play, he's so effective.
He is. He could be that lockdown defender, as Coach Kohler has said multiple times, or he could be, as you see right now, a good ball handler that's going to push the pace of the game if you need to speed it up a little bit.
Hatton, the sharpshooter from Southern Illinois. To Rudell, right back to Jones. Kenta, nice bounce feed to Gladney. Reverse no good, and Rietzma picks it up.
Right idea there from Gladney. I think he just hesitated, though, because he felt the pressure from the Cardinals.
Corner 3, off. Offensive board, though, right to Black. There were no Cougars in the area. And now it's Rietzma down low. Lockhart thought about the 3. Now he'll pull the trigger and knock it through. Right in Reznikov's face. Matt Lockhart with 8 points. All knotted up at 14. This has been an entertaining start.
Fast-paced, scoring start for sure.
There was an off-ball foul down low. It'll stay with the Cougs. 2 subs here. O'Donnell and Tavares Williams in for Gladney and Reznikov. First time we're saying Tavares' name today. Big 6'7" freshman out of Fox Lake. Jones pulls the trigger and misses just his second 3 of the season. Rietsma to Alexander, knifing in. Lockhart, nifty pass, but it bounced off the chest of Rietsma, who I think wasn't expecting it. Now Rudell over to Hatton, and Brent with the left hand puts it through.
Great job by Hatton, though, when you're a sharpshooter like he is from behind the three-point line. That little jab step we just saw, and great move in controlling himself while he was attacking the lane.
Inside, Black is rejected. Williams with the rejection, and it's Cougar ball. Zisk and Kasanda come in for the Cards. Feels, Carter, like the pace might play to Chicago's favor. It's a high-flying Cougar team who averages 82 points a game. And so far, frenetic pace.
They're doing very well, or keeping pace, but they're also controlling it too. They're not always keeping it at full steam right now. You see right now they're settling down and running a play.
Hatton, no good. Offensive board for Rudell, right back to Hatton. And in the corner, Neil O'Donnell loses it. In game 1, in the women's game between Ann Arbor and Concordia, it was also kind of this really quick pace, but there were tons of turnovers. Ended up being over 45 by the end of the game. This game, there's a frenetic pace. Just 3 combined turnovers, so it's been clean.
They're controlling the ball, they're taking care of themselves, and they're not getting out of their scheme because both teams like to push their pace, and when you're playing like that, and you're not trying to force those extra passes, then you're not turning the ball over.
Thomas Horonis missed the 3, but right back here are the Cardinals. Horonis will now try from a little closer in, and again comes up empty. Again, another chance. It's Horonis with the ball. He gives it up to Kasanda. Dominguez knifing into the lane. Fouled by Williams. So far, 6 Cougars have scored, with Gladney leading the way, 5 points. Matt Lockhart's 8 points pacing the Cardinals. And Dominguez swishes it home. Landon Gladney in, Isaac Rudell out. Dominguez goes 2 for 2. Emmanuel was named a champion of character last year in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, initiative that honors athletes with integrity, responsibility. Williams has 3.
You look at that, he's only shot 7 on the year, and that's his second make, but he can pull a quick trigger right there. Nice job by the freshman.
Horonis from way deep. A little audacious.
A couple inches closer, that might have went in, but.
Hatton gets it right back. Good defense, though, from Booker. And now Tavares down low. He doesn't want to challenge Zisk, and that's probably a good idea. Gladney near the perimeter, picks up his dribble and bounces to Hatton. Now it's Kenta Jones, 4 on the shot clock. Step back tray, air ball. Now he'll hear it from the Ann Arbor faithful.
See right there, that's just miscommunication on defense. You got Jones trying to come behind there, but nobody was there to stop the ball.
Timeout called by Steve Kohler. Just a 30-second timeout, and Cougar fans, Cougar basketball, as always, is brought to you in large part by Lutheran Public Radio. You can listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at LutheranPublicRadio.org or on the LPR app. Sam Brief and Carter Gledhill with you from Geisman Gym for day 2 of the 69th annual Concordia Invitational Tournament. Second longest running basketball tournament on planet Earth. I don't know what they're up to in Jupiter, but I think they've been playing for even longer. Here on Earth, this is the second longest running. This goes back to 1951. And the Cougars looking to pick up a CIT win here at home. Carter, what would it mean to pick up a win, even though this wouldn't necessarily be for a CIT championship?
Well, you mentioned the statistic before the game. The Cougars haven't won a CIT game since 2011 when they won the title. But at this point, it really is just a great turning point in the season for a Cougars team that has struggled of late.
Go time for O'Donnell, senior captain hailing from Braidwood, Illinois. He isn't flashy, but he guides this team as Casanda guides himself to the hoop. And then the foul will keep the ball with the Cougs. Few subs, Resnikoff, Golding, and Burns Jr. all set to come in. Good to see Dwayne's okay. So you see number 30 pointing his finger to the sky. Saw him come up a little gimpy, holding his chest. He's all right enough to give it a run here in the CIT. Cardinals with their first lead of the ball game, 20-19, and an interception here.
You see, that's what happens when you get the full court pressure. The cross court passes are what's going to hurt you.
And the three.
Points off turnovers are going to be key in this game for sure, especially with the fast pace that we're going today. Turnovers are going to occur if this pressure is going to keep coming from the Cardinals.
Momentum with Ann Arbor. And their crowd with the Thunder Sticks. All red, black, and white, making sure their presence felt. Williams misses. Winowicki rebounds. Aronis up and under. Too strong. Kenta Jones loses it the other way. That's the 6th CUC turnover. Ann Arbor committing just one so far, as Amos and Rudell both come in to try and provide a little offensive boost.
Amos really only still has 3 points is from that three-pointer we've seen earlier, so looking to revamp the offense and get a good jump with Amos too.
Rashawn had 17 yesterday, 3 of 4 from behind the arc, on a day where CUC shot a season low 23% from downtown. And Resnikoff draws the charge.
And that's what we seen yesterday too with 2 charges too. But he's an Energizer bunny almost in the big man form. Little jaw right there exists, but it's gonna be a great battle to watch the rest of the game.
He really loves to do that. You can see there's no bigger smile in Charlie Resnikoff's face than after he draws a charge. I mean, after he hits a bucket, it's like, all right. After he draws a charge, he is gassed up.
What else can I do to get in your head, pretty much, is what Resnikoff was doing there.
Golding, step back. This is his shot, but he comes up empty. But Burns gets it right back. Gives it to Golding in the corner. It's Rudell passing it around now. Here's Zio with the ball. Amos, short. And Burns again, but this time it goes out off his foot.
And you can see Coach Jan just saying to the guys, you got to secure the ball, because if you don't secure the ball, Burns, you see what he's been doing. He's just coming out of nowhere and poking right out at you, and that's what's going to happen if you don't rip and control the ball after a big rebound.
Waiting for some perspiration to be wiped off the court. Now we're ready to roll. Carter, next time you perspire, can you keep it off the court? Is that all right?
That was a lot of big man sweat right there in the paint.
Here's Booker with the basketball and a 4-point lead. He was fouled by Resnikoff, who committed it from his knees. Both teams with 6 fouls, so 1 away from the bonus, which would bring a 1-and-1 free throw opportunity. Here's Winowicki, too strong on the 3, Gladney the board, and here come the Cougars, who haven't scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Concordia just 2 for 11 from downtown. They need a little spark right now. Who can provide it? Reznikov passes, but the whistle blew first. Foul called on Gerald Booker. His first foul. Team 7, so Cougars in the bonus now, and a 1-and-1 opportunity for Reznikov. Charlie drains the first. See, not as much of a smile after making a basket than after drawing a charge. That's the ultimate scrapper.
Exactly.
2 for 2 and hardly a grin. If he draws a charge here, we'll see the pearly whites. Lockhart with the ball. He's been an energizer bunny. Rudell pushing the pace. Out to Amos. The right wing, he gives it to Isaac. Reznikov, hard charging. Rudell. In and out. Gladney cleans up the mess.
And look at that. You see Gladney just fighting in there and getting the rebound. He's got 3 on the day now. It's another offensive board for the Cougars that's led to points.
Quick little 4-0 run to tie it up. Booker under the hoop, nearly got his pocket picked, and instead he just spun it in off the glass. Amos, too strong, but Rudell the offensive board, and he traveled. How about CUC today, Carter? 8 offensive rebounds. They've dominated the rebounding battle.
They have. And it's exciting to see that too, because even though the rebounds have led to second chance points in the paint, and it's also to outweigh the struggles that they're having from behind the arc right now, 1 of 8 in their last 8 attempts from behind the 3-point line.
Kip French gives it up. And now Winowicki the lay-in. Whistle blows. And a foul called on French. That was a loose ball foul and a collision. And with a 4-point deficit, Cougars looking for some offense. Just 2 for 13 from behind the arc. That's 15%. Williams made 1 and Amos made 1. Other than that, Cougs have come up empty. Gladney, easy.
And again, you just see him. Whenever you see penetration for the Cougars, he's got his hands up on the baseline ready, because quick kick out right there, he'll put it right up.
Landon, Chicago native, St. Rita High School alum. Now the Connecticut kid. Over to O'Donnell. Gladney a 3. Landon can't nail it. Here's Alexander. Out to Winowicki. With 3 minutes to go, it's 27-25 Ann Arbor. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us here on the Cougar Sports Network. The 69th annual Concordia Invitational Tournament in Rockin' Geisman Gym. Championship games to follow this one, and it's been a fun one. Reznikov, teardrop.
Loved how he sized up the defender right there, making sure every option was analyzed, and you see just a nice floater after that.
Dominguez near the baseline. Kicks it outside. Alexander too strong. With a tie score, the Cougars have a chance to take the lead.
And this is huge right here. Depending on what they do, it's going to be definitely a momentum shift in this game if they do that.
Pocket picked. Diving for the ball. French gives it to Reznikov. Rudell, 3. Too short. Offensive board. Right back with it. Isaac Rudell gives Concordia Chicago the lead.
And that was huge there. You see Rudell not giving up on the play, crashing the boards once the shot went up. Great job getting his own rebound. Again, another offensive board to make it 9-2 in favor of the Cougars on the offensive board battle.
Winowicki ties it up. Talk to any coach, any level around the country, and they'll tell you the last 2 minutes of a half or a quarter are always crucial.
They are, because you can really carry that momentum in the locker room, and then that carries over in the beginning of the half, and that could really hurt or help your team.
Well, here we are, now in the last 90 seconds. Gladney in the low post. Long 3, Hatton. Strong. Here's Lockhart flying up the court. He pulls up. Dominguez, Trey. No good, but he was fouled by Hatton. And 3 free throws coming up for number 3.
See all the players are on the court all getting a chance to catch their breath because it's been up and down up the court the whole half.
Emmanuel Dominguez from Florida down in Groveland. And this is the front end of 3 free throws. Groveland sort of in central Florida. Not too far away from Orlando, where Disney World beckons. The 3rd free throw coming up. It's a 2-point lead. Fans close or far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach, proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. 2-point deficit for CUC. Amos, who's been quiet, will bring it up the court. Big possession for the Cougs. Gladney picks up his dribble, bounces it to Golding, up strong, missing, board to Ann Arbor. Hronis gives it up, Lockhart nearly lost it, got it back, cross-court rainbow pass to Black. They'll settle it down with a 6-second differential between shot and game clock. Black looking back towards Ricky Yan to get his marching orders. Just 7 seconds to act, right in front of the Concordia student section. Up and under, no good. 7 seconds for Hatton. Up the court, here goes Brent. Charging hard, Golding 3, off. And Ann Arbor will take a 2-point halftime lead. Rashawn Amos, meanwhile, is down, right near the opposite 3-point line. He came up gimpy, favoring his left ankle. He's helped up by the athletic trainers. You see near the 3-point line in the bottom left part of your screen, Rashawn Amos limping off the court. Good to see him up, walking off under his own power. We'll try to get an update for you after halftime, where our score is Concordia Ann Arbor 31, Concordia Chicago 29. And fans, if you're looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win, Doc Ryan's on Madison Street, as always, has your post-game needs covered. We'll take a pause for the halftime break. On the other side, the Concordia Invitational Tournament rolls on for the 69th time from Geisman Gym. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Concordia Chicago dance team, thank you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we had the CIT cheer and dance competition earlier today. If you want to find out the results, you will have to come back tonight. We will award those trophies along with the trophies for men's and women's basketball following our 7:45 game tonight.
It's good. Its groove on the offense. Where the offense has been for the Cougars, though, is in the paint. They've got 20 of their 29 points is coming from the paint, and that's really exciting to see, especially from the big man, Landon Gladney, who has a game high of 9 points right now.
Still Ann Arbor on top, 31-29. What have you seen from the Cardinals that have given them the halftime edge?
It's been the aggressiveness in transition. What they've really done well is pushing pace. We've got 11 points in fast break opportunities. The Cougars only have 2. So really, the Cardinals have been pushing the Cougars to their edge. A lot of miscommunication on the defensive side for the Cougars in that sense on the defense. So the Cardinals are going to keep doing that if they want to keep pushing this lead up.
The Cougs have limited Paul Zisk. The big man has just 2 points. He's only put up 2 shots, but a pair of guards on the outside. Gerald Booker and Matt Lockhart have gotten it done, leading the way. 8 points apiece for CUAA. And as my partner mentioned, 9 points for Landon Gladney, leading all scorers. And a 2-point halftime lead for CUAA in game 2 of day 2 of the CIT. Our wonderful production crew here at Concordia University bringing you the broadcast here on the Concordia Sports Network. Shelby Spitz, Julia Beers, Ryan McGee, Grace Miller, Julia Spitelli, Kelly Guti, CJ Selner, and the wonderful family here at Concordia Chicago who've put on a heck of a tournament. Number 70 will be next year, and it's going to be hard to top this one. It's been a lot of fun, and we still have 2.5 games to play. After this one, we'll have roughly, looking at the schedule, maybe a 6 o'clock-ish tip-off for the women's championship, and then the men's championship to follow. Both of those are Wisconsin against Nebraska. All right, here we go. Amos on the court to start the half, so we assume he's okay. As Zisk tips it in. And now Kasanda knifing in. Outside to Alexander. A long Booker 3 is in and out. Zisk right back with it. Paul's got 4.
And he's got 4, and he's finally getting back into the groove of it. Doing what he does best, and we've said all along, is that just him being in the middle of the paint, getting ready to put up those rebounds and make moves.
Golding, O'Donnell, Hatton, Amos, Gladney. That's the Concordia 5. Gladney runs into trouble down low, but passes out of it. Hatton loses the ball. Concordia turnover. And now Winniewecki with a chance. But that chance vanishes. Cougar ball. Carter Gledhill, what's something you're looking forward to later tonight with the 2 championship games?
Oh, we're going to see a lot of good offense from both teams, especially that women's team in Nebraska. They average almost 95 points a game. That's something that is absolutely insane. Something also, too, both 2019 CIT MVPs are back in the championship game again with Philly Lammers of Nebraska and Jordan Johnson for the men's Falcons team. So it's going to be an exciting night no matter what.
That Nebraska team put a trouncing on the Ann Arbor women's team yesterday. 74-49. They forced 42 turnovers in the win. Won the third quarter, 28-7. Amos, 3, got it.
And that's a great way to restart the shooting in the half, get a fresh, clean slate, and start off the half with a good 3-pointer.
They were 2 for 17 in the first half. Now 1 for 1 in the second. Foul called on Concordia, and Steve Kohler, he's been happier. Booker to win a wiki. Fast pace for Golding. Zio up the court, powering. And he runs into a brick wall. Black missed the layup. And then a frustration foul as he got O'Donnell.
O'Donnell with 5 rebounds today, too. He's getting after it as well.
Hatton with 6. And the Cougars have 9 offensive boards compared to just 3 for the Cards. Carter, this is one of those mascot matchups that on paper would not even be a contest. Cougars, Cardinals.
No, but you see him. Oh, a nice move by Gladney right there. But you see him at halftime. They're sitting by each other. They're having a good time, but mascots have fun here too at CIT.
Well, the actual mascots aren't life-sized, or else it'd be kind of hard to get someone to squeeze into the Cardinal outfit, all right?
No. You see Coach Jan right there telling his guys to stop the late rotation right there. That's what got him on that side check almost that sent Amos flying.
Hatton inbounding with a lob to Rashawn. Amos stops at the free throw line, passes to O'Donnell, the senior, to Amos, 3, off. One-handed board for Zisk. Paul's got 7 of them. What a pass, what a finish. That was smooth transition play. It's a 3-point Cardinal lead, 3 minutes into the second. Amos with the pink socks, dishes to Gladney. He gets tied up with Zisk, and Paul Zisk called for the foul. It's his 3rd.
Something to keep in mind here, because that's going to be crucial down late too.
Rudell checks in for Concordia Chicago, and for Ann Arbor, Rietsma and Lockhart. Matt Lockhart gave a great spark in the first half. He had 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting, couple threes, nice reverse layup. And now Gladney trying to pick on the new guy. Tyler Black speeding up the court. He was fouled, he'll have free throws. O'Donnell whistled for it. And now 2 subs for Coach Kohler. Resnikoff and Burns are ready to check in. They'll have to wait a sec. Folks, you might see, we were talking about the Cardinal and the Cougar mascot. You see the Cardinal mascot kind of messing with a cheerleader. Sort of near the middle of your screen. Not anymore. He's got that big red thing on the top of his head. Again, the Cardinal not built to life size. It's a 5-point Cardinal lead. They've been steady from the free throw line, 7 for 10. Rudell, pocket picked. It's Tyler Black. Stuffed by Rudell, but Lockhart right there to clean it up. Isaac Rudell rejected him.
That was huge. Look at the hustle there by Rudell. You notice how he timed it up? He didn't want to go up exactly with him. He made sure that he went up and then came up too and to block it off the backboard.
Timeout called by Coach Kohler. 7-point lead for Ann Arbor. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. Back at it from Geisman Gym, where Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Concordia Ann Arbor, Concordia Chicago doing battle here in game 2 on the second day of the CIT. On the Chicago side, these Cougars, 14-time CIT champions. Last got it done in 2011. For Ann Arbor, just 4-time champions, but they've had some more recent success. 2 CIT chips under Ricky Yan in 2015 and 2018. These 2 teams met up in last year's CIT in Ann Arbor. Cardinals got the best of the Cougs, 94-75. Foul called here on Winnewicky, and the Cougars keep possession right in front of their student section. The crowd's big, loud, boisterous. 2,500 strong last night. Student sections chock full, both sides. Gladney and the foul.
What a great play there between Amos and Glad. And you just see Amos go into the corner, pick and roll right there, and then slicing it through the paint.
This weekend's so fun because, of course, there's a home court advantage for the host. CUC, no doubt, has the biggest contingent here. You're playing at home. You've got the most fans. But there's also a little bit of a neutral game element because in a normal regular season road game, there's not a full-blown student section for the other side. So you get a little bit of both.
Ann Arbor's traveled really well today. They did well yesterday, too. Probably the best out of the other 3 teams that weren't Chicago.
Not an easy trek from Chicago to Ann Arbor. It's about a 5-hour drive. I've done it. Rietzma converts. Colton from Jenison, Michigan, with a man play right under the hoop. Three-point play for Colton Rietzma. His hometown of Jenison on the reverse side of the state, in the western part of Michigan. And it's a 7-point Ann Arbor lead. Here's Amos, shaking and baking at the left wing. Bounces it for Gladney, who's got double figures. Amos, Trey. Nope. Offensive board for Resnikoff. Charges hard and gets fouled. That was the 10th Concordia Chicago offensive rebound.
Body's flying on that last one, but you see Rudell coming in there poking it out because he wouldn't have had the secured rebound right there, and then Resnikoff just taking it into the heart of the paint right there. Going to the line now.
Charlie Resnikoff out of Wilton, Connecticut. Transfer from Lesley University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, as he drains the first. At Lesley last year, he was first-team all-conference, and he was a workhorse. He led the conference in minutes. He was dominant before transferring here to Concordia. 2 for 2 at the charity stripe. Charlie hasn't missed one today. Concordia 6 for 7, much better than yesterday when they converted just 30% of their free throws. 5-point game as Booker bowls over Burns Jr., runs into trouble, and Concordia Chicago has numbers. Rudell with the ball, swings it to Burns. Dwayne, a bouncer to Rudell, and now Amos. Slicing, stopping, turning, shooting, and not quite converting. It'll go the other way. This game has slowed down a bit in the second half, but on those fast breaks, it's been all Ann Arbor. 15-2. That's the fast break point department in favor of the Cardinals. Dominguez's rainbow three was off. It'll go back the other way. I think it hit the shot clock or something above the hoop. So Cougar ball down by 5. Just over 6 minutes into the second half. Rashawn Amos, senior transfer from St. Louis, with the ball at the left wing. Gives it up to Gladney. Amos, knifing, paint, got it, and the foul.
It doesn't look like that ankle's bothering him anymore. It explodes off the screen and comes around in the paint. Great job on the power up too in that layup.
Rashawn has sort of come alive here in the second half. At halftime, he had 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting. If he drains this, it'll be his 9th point. Double figures in his last 12. And Rashawn really struggled to start his Concordia Chicago career. His first 6 games as a Cougar, he shot just 22% from behind the arc. And Steve Collar, who coached him for 3 years at Blackburn University, said, just you wait. Just you wait. Rashawn's going to come alive. He's going to go on a run like nothing you've ever seen. He's an incredible shooter. And then, bam. Since then, he shot nearly 50% from behind the arc. 12 straight games in double figures. He's been the Cougars' best player.
And he has been, and he's really stepped into that role. Something that little early struggles in the season, and then they had some other hiccups in the road with some team issues, and then look at that.
Horonis goes back-to-back from downtown, and the Cardinals' best three-point shooter has given them a stranglehold of the momentum. He is fired up, and it's an 8-point Ann Arbor lead. Thomas Horonis, nearly a 50% three-point shooter in his own right, and what a turn of events with those 2 buckets.
And you can see how much momentum just got shifted in this game because of Horonis and those 2 threes that he just knocked down.
So quick 30-second timeout. Steve Kohler meeting with his team. Ricky Yan doing the same. For those of you who don't know Coach Kohler's background, he spent 4 years as a head coach at Blackburn University, D3 NCAA school. Came over now in his first season at Concordia. He is familiar, though, with the NAC because before he became head coach at Blackburn, he was an assistant at Benedictine University under legendary head coach Steve Bunkenberg. And now Coach Kohler leading the Cougs and trying to power them to their first CIT win since 2011. If they're going to get it, these 2 guys in the backcourt will play a big role in it. Neil O'Donnell, one of the senior captains, Rashawn Amos, who's been the star performer over the last 2 months. He's got it at the left wing, now bouncing inside for Resnikoff. Charlie outside. Amos with 5 to work. Gives it to Rudell. Isaac Rudell, a free look, and it rolls in.
What a
nifty
nice
move.
Great touch by Rudell, though, getting all the momentum of both defenders going through and just pulling back, laying it up off the top of the rim, too.
Horonis is the hot hand. He just hit back-to-back threes. Make it back-to-back-to-back. He is feeling it.
A little deeper on that one, too, but great look, too. A little contested, but they got to find an answer for that.
The response, we'll have to wait. There it is. You got to have airtight defense on Thomas Horonis here. The team leader in threes has hit one on each of the Cardinals' last 3 possessions.
See, they try to get him a little ISO play, but good job by Amos with that defense, not allowing him to get that three.
Rietsma, no. And now Amos back the other way. Crisp passing here for the Cougs. Moving it around efficiently. And now Amos to the lane. Easy layup right over Horonis.
And you mean crisp passing when you say that, and opportunities open, you spread out the defense, and you see Amos attacking there.
Coach Kohler's offensive system all about ball movement. He wants constant motion. And now he'll have motion in the fast break. O'Donnell, yes!
And you see it now, your feet in the defensive side, looking really good for the Cougars, answering those big shots by Horonis that we saw earlier.
.60 run. Rietsma, got it. The Cardinals have drilled their last 4 3-point shots, and they lead by 6. This is fun. These two teams going back and forth. This is what the CIT is all about, baby. We'll take a break. Halfway home in the second half. 6-point Cardinal lead. Back at it in a few on the Cougar Sports Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Back at it from a raucous Geisman gym where Colton Rietsma and the Cardinals just responded to a 6-0 Chicago run. These two teams going back and forth. It's a lot of fun. And we'd like to remind you folks at home, Cougar Basketball is brought to you by Lutheran Public Radio. You can listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at LutheranPublicRadio.org or on the LPR app. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill up top here in Geisman Gym. And Carter, this one's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. The teams are making crisp offensive possessions. We've seen great shooting, great rebounding, and then great defense too. It's really been an exciting game in this Consolation, and we have 10 minutes left in this half.
And 4 seconds. Well, not anymore.
No, not anymore, but yeah, still a lot of time left in this tight ball game.
Oh boy. Kenta Jones, Tavares Williams, 2 new guys on the court for the Cougs. On each of the last 4 Cardinal possessions where they've taken a 3, it's gone in. 3 from Horonis, 1 from Rietsma. Couple seconds. O'Donnell got it. Horonis is the hot hand. Booker, the steady hand. He misses. Rietsma misses. Jump ball will give it to the Cougars. Kenta Jones with it. Now it's O'Donnell. Neal, a 3-sport athlete out of Braidwood, gives it to Williams, over to Hatton. 10 on the shot clock for Landon Gladney. A spin, turn, and he missed. Kenta Jones pokes it, and Horonis picks it up. Knifing to the hoop, Thomas Horonis has 11. He scored 11 of the last 14 Cardinal points, taking the game over. And free throws will come for Hatton. fewer than 24 hours removed from their worst three-point shooting performance of the season. The Cougars are 3 for 21 in this game, 14% from downtown. Team that came into this tournament shooting about 40% on the season from downtown, second best in the NAC. A couple weeks ago in a win over Maranatha Baptist, set the new program record and a NAC record for threes in a game, over 20. But they've been cold in the CIT, my friend.
Yeah, they have, and it's kind of weird because this has been a very hot and cold team. But we've seen bursts of it in this game where they have shown that sharp shooting ability. Now I just got to keep refining it, and hopefully the guy checking in right now is going to revamp that for the Cougars.
Yeah, Isaac Rudell leads the NAC in three-point percentage. He's made 57% of his attempts on the season. It's impressive this late in the season to be hovering right around 60%. Long three. Quite a heat check for Horonis. There are heat checks and there are heat checks.
That was a big one right there.
6-point game, 8 minutes left. Can Rudell be the spark? O'Donnell? And out. Oh, so close. Tyler Black trying to get a little fancy. He pulls it up. Near the free throw line, he gets the marching orders from his head coach, Ricky Yan. Black to Horonis. Down low to Zisk, who we haven't heard from much in this half. And he misses. Put back no good. Another put back no good. And now a Cougar foul. Carter, you were zoned in on Paul Zisk before the game, just 2 points yesterday. So far, 4 points on 2 of 4 shooting. He's hardly been an offensive factor. He does have 8 boards and 3 blocks, though.
I mean, he did lead the team coming in today with an average of 6 rebounds a game, but again, still, he's not having the same offensive production the Cardinals are used to getting out of him, but you get guys like Horonis that pick it up for you.
That time, Horonis committing a turnover.
Trying to get a little too fancy right there, but those are 2 looks that happen on the same possession from the Cougars not communicating and leaving someone open in the corner for a potential three-pointer.
The bearded Horonis checks out. Lockhart coming in. How about Tyler Horonis? Third in the WAHAC, Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. In three-point percentage with 11 points today. He's a North Ridgeville, Ohio native, across Michigan's southern border. And now here comes Booker with a lay-in. An 8-point ball game. We'll stay with the Cougars. Timeout called by Coach Kohler. And we'll take a pause here, folks. 6:31 to go, 8-point lead for Ann Arbor. We'll be back in a moment on the Cougar Sports Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Back here in Geisman and closer far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach is proud to be the official transportation partner of CUC Athletics. Sam Brief, Carter Gledhill bringing you the action. Concordia Ann Arbor on top of Concordia Chicago by 8. And a lot of this offense for the Cardinals, my friend, has run through Thomas Hronis. What a fire spark he's provided.
And it was just out of nowhere. We just see him come in and just hit the three-pointers. Fantastic start for the Cardinals right there. Cougars have been held scoreless for the past 3 minutes, 13 seconds, but they are going to be in the double bonus for the rest of the half, so that might be something that's going to be able to get them back in the game.
Amos has double figures for the 13th straight game. 11 points for Rashawn. And a loose ball foul called on Charlie Resnikoff. So it's Cardinal ball. Resnikoff second. Team's 5th foul. Battle of the number ones. Tyler Black against Rashawn Amos. He gives it up to Booker. Gerald at the top of the circle. Lockhart met by some defenders. Winowicki off to the right. Here's Amos now, under 6 to go. Concordia Chicago down by 8. Moving it around the perimeter. Everyone on the perimeter, but now Resnikoff moves in. And he's called for an elbow. The near side official was all over it as it looked like Resnikoff used that forearm to get a little separation.
His second offensive foul in 2 possessions right there.
Sort of like an offensive pass interference. Quick Super Bowl prediction.
49ers.
Yeah, me too.
Jimmy G.
Defense wins championships.
I think
right?
Jimmy G's going to come out and be great. Jimmy G's going to be great.
Rolling Meadows, Illinois native.
15 minutes from where I went to high school in Buffalo Grove, so got to root for him.
And you didn't pick up a little bit of that quarterbacking luster?
Nope.
It didn't spread around like a virus?
Nope.
Week from tomorrow, Super Bowl. Right now, CIT. And Booker misses the lay-in. Scrum for the ball, and now Gerald will have 2 chances from the free throw line, where his team has shot 75%. And now Coach Kohler again not happy, as his team has allowed the Cardinals to enter the bonus. That was the 7th team foul. So Gerald Booker, he's been a steady force. 12 points yesterday, 12 today on 5 of 12 shooting. And that's lucky number 13 for the Southfield, Michigan native. Point guard who came into the tournament tied for the team lead with 14 points a game, providing the backcourt sizzle along with Tyler Black and Greg Alexander. This is the back end. It's time to go for the Concordia offense. Averaging over 80 points a game. They haven't hit that mark at all during the current 4-game losing streak they're on. And that losing streak on the heels of a 3-game win streak that saw the Cougars put up 100 in back-to-back games. And now a chance for easy points with Resnikoff headed to the free throw line. Concordia entering this ball game 6-10 on the season. 5-7 in the NAC. They've had a lot more success here in Geisman than away from home. 4-2 at home and just 2-8 on the road. As Resnikoff converts both. He'll come out of the game now for Hatton as Hronis and Casanda come in for the Cardinals.
And you better be worried about Hronis if you're the Cougars right now. You don't want him to get off to another hot start like he did, because you saw he can hit a 3 at any second.
A lot of the Ann Arbor students were kind of egging Ricky Yan on to put in Hronis, and some cheers came from there when he came to the scorer's table. And now he's in the game and his team has the ball right back. Bounce pass nearly picked off. 15 on the shot clock and an offensive foul on Zisk. His 4th.
That's partially the reason why he hasn't been playing that much today. It's not so much that his offense has been bad, but he's been in foul trouble so much. One more, he's going to be riding the rest of the game on the bench.
And going forward in the next 4.5, how does it affect him mentally, Carter? Knowing he's got 4 fouls, maybe we'll see him play a little passively.
Yeah, you can't play as aggressive in the paint, and you see right there, he's not guarding Gladney right now. He's just helping backside right now.
Yeah, zone defense here as Rudell cuts and converts.
You see Rudell just sneaking right in front of him because while Zisk was looking around for where you could get help, he just cut right in front.
4 minutes left. 5-point game. Ann Arbor's led wire to wire in half number 2. Hronis in and out. Jim quieting, letting the offense do its work. 10 on the shot clock. Amos in the corner. Timeout with Lockhart injured after the Amos teardrop. Matt Lockhart seems to be in a lot of pain holding his right calf. We'll take a pause here to remind you that if you're looking for a place to relax following a big Cougar win, then Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all of your post-game needs covered. Lockhart will limp off the court, grabbing that right calf. I think he's trying to stay in the game, but the athletic training staff saying, no, we got to take a look at you. With 3 minutes left, it's Cardinal ball as you get a look at the Ann Arbor student section in the sharp red. Concordia's students in the yellow. 3 minutes left, 3-point game. This has been a roller coaster. Alexander picked off by Amos. Here's Rashawn. Left-handed layup is off, and it'll go the other way.
Amos wishing he could have that one back because got a little too fancy on the top, but he had to avoid contact. Good hustle there, though, by Kassan. And just getting down there and getting ready to contest.
Bernard Casanda in the game, the Lawrenceville, Georgia native. 5'11" sophomore with the headband, hands it off to Hronis. He's picked off by Rudell. Rudell fouled, and with 2 free throws, he can make it a 1-point game.
Probably a smart foul there, though, by Booker, making sure that it's not going to go for a made basket, because if he even tried to attempt a soft foul there, it could have been tying the game up with a free throw.
Cougars have missed just 3 from the charity stripe. Rudell's first of the game. Rolls in. 2-point game. Ricky Yan calls time. 2:45 to go. 2-point game. It's getting hot inside Geisman as the CIT rolls on right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back. Geisman Gym playing host to the 69th annual CIT, and we're so happy to bring it to you. Sam Brief, Carter Geisman. All right, Carter, 2:45 left. This one's neck and neck. If you're Coach Kohler in the huddle, what kind of message are you relaying to the team?
Just stick to what's gotten you back into this game so far. You're on a 7-0 run. Your offense is starting to work. You're working the ball more, and you're not trying to force it, but you're also being smart and aggressive on defense. You've got 2 steals in the past 2 possessions taken away from the Cardinals, so just keep doing that and you're fine.
Rudell misses the back end. Cardinal ball. Casanda to Horonis. It's Winowicki in the corner. Cardinals keeping the ball outside the 3-point line right now with under 10 to shoot. Booker, too strong. Winowicki got it though, and he puts it right back in. 4-point game, timeout Concordia. It's a quick 30-second timeout. How about the second effort there, Mr. Gledhill?
That was fantastic. You see shot goes up, crashing the boards, and then sneaking right outside of the baseline, which we said all weekend has really just been something that a lot of teams have used in this tournament.
In the first half, the rebounding battle dominated by Concordia, 28-19. But since then, by Concordia Chicago, since then it's been all Ann Arbor on the glass, nearly doubling up the Cougars' rebounding totals in the second half. Paul Zisk has 8. You've got Winowicki with 5, Lockhart with 5. They've crashed the offensive glass, and actually, in spite of the early domination from the Cougars on the offensive glass, Cardinals now have more offensive boards.
And you see all of it is just them crashing the boards and being aggressive, but they also just turned up, like you mentioned, their rebounding intensity too. They've come out after the second half being more aggressive.
Crowd sensing the moment. Pivotal possession. Amos. Got it!
How about that one from Amos, creating separation on the step back? Big time shot for a big time player right there.
It's his 3rd tray of the day. And now the Cougar side making some noise. Booker's blocked, but Landon Gladney whistled for a foul.
You see the disappointment there on a lot of the Cougars fans. You see on your screen right there, the guy was not happy about it.
Controversial call. Gives Booker 2 free throws. Rashawn Amos moments ago hit a huge step back 3. He's got 16 points. And a big shot here. Booker's tough as nails. It's a 2-point game. Ann Arbor has led for the entire second half. Might that change here? Tie game.
How about that? We said it. Get it to your guy, the best player, and that's him.
Something flew onto the court from the band, causing a brief interruption. And it is loud here in Geisman Gym. Casanda going to work. Approaching the 1-minute mark. This is what college basketball is all about. Winowicki, too strong. Booker, and the foul.
You talked about him being tough as nails, and you see him right there being strong off the rebound and putting it back up. Having the chance now to get the and one at the free throw line.
Gerald Booker taking this game over late. It's pretty much been Booker against Amos for the last minute and a half. Gerald leading his team with 16 points. He can make it a 3-point game with a minute to go. If he nails this. Timeout, Ann Arbor. Minute to go, 3-point game. A lot on the line here in the CIT, and we'll bring you the final 60 seconds on the other side. This is the 69th annual CIT on the Cougar Sports Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Back at it for the final minute of a wildly entertaining game between Ann Arbor and Chicago. Sam Brief alongside my friend Carter Gledhill. Carter, this has been a fun one. Yep.
And this is what you want in CIT. This is what it's made for, close games. And it's going to be really exciting to see which team pulls away at the end of this game.
So it's Cougar ball, down by 3, minute to go. Amos is the hot hand. You've also got Hatton on the court, who's a sharpshooter. Gladney a steady force. No Paul Zisk on the court, which gives you a little defensive edge, right?
Well, you know that the Cougars are going to go for probably a big shot here, so you don't want to have a body in there. You want speed out in your court. You want athleticism, and he has 4 fouls.
It's a pivotal possession. 45 seconds left. Amos with the ball. Over to Hatton. 10 to shoot. Rashawn calling for a screen. Here it comes. In the corner. Rudell. Open look. Short. He got the offensive board. A second chance for the Cougs. But O'Donnell's pocket picked. Bernard Casanda comes up with a huge steal, but Gladney right back. Timeout. Landon Gladney with a huge steal and the two-handed flush. This could have saved the day for the Cougs.
What a great job by Gladney in there, staying in the game. You see him not trailing back, and he didn't go for the foul. And even if it was a foul, he was being aggressive about it and going straight for the ball. It's a 1-point game now. You feel the energy in Geisman going crazy.
So, of course, if the Cougars don't get a steal, they'll have to foul. It's Ann Arbor ball. Cougars down by 1, and they've been down the entire second half, but hanging around, just keep hanging and hanging. Landon Gladney, 16 points. Rashawn Amos, 18 points. So what's your strategy here? Do you go, how long can you wait before you got to just foul and play the free throw game?
If they're able to get the ball over half court, I think you have to foul. Because in the point right now, you're able to have a lot of things you can do with trapping and putting yourself a lot of aggressive pressure in the backcourt. But the second it gets over the half court, you have to be ready to foul because there's no shot clock right now. So the Cardinals could wind it down to the end. And then it comes to that, I think you got to give the ball to Amos. He's been the hot hand of late for Cougars, and I think he's going to be proving to be a big man in this situation coming up.
And earlier this season, Rashawn Amos delivered in a really clutch situation for the Cougars back in December in a high-scoring overtime win over Wisconsin Lutheran. With the Cougars down by 3, it was Amos who nailed a 3 to send the game into overtime. And he might have another clutch chance on this fine Saturday evening. Here we go. Casanda at the baseline. 5-second violation. It's Cougar basketball.
Talk about the lockdown defense right there. You see the Cougars crazies going absolutely insane because you know the side, because he was able to run the baseline on that because it was a made basket. But, oh my goodness, great lockdown defense there from Kohler's defense and the Cougars.
"16 seconds left, the shot clock is off. A chance to win it at home in the CIT. It's Hatton for the win. Just missed. That hit about every part of the rim and the backboard before missing. But there might be some time left on the clock.
Don't celebrate too early now if you're the Cardinals.
Ricky Yan having a discussion with the officials right in front of the scorer's table. We might have some time put back on the clock, and right now, to be honest with you folks at home, we're not quite sure why. We're awaiting an explanation from the officials who clearly have some discussing to do.
Cheerleaders obviously don't know that though because they're out there going.
Not sure, was there a foul? Could there be some time left on the clock? What exactly are these three officials discussing?
There could have been a foul there on Hatton's shot, but if anything, it would have came late. The only way I could see a foul called if it was something in the paint on an attempted rebound. But when the shot went up, it was almost time expired, so we'll have to see.
Hatton had a heave that missed by an inch. And now here comes the official call. The teams are coming back on the court. 2 seconds put back on the clock. So 2 seconds back on the clock. There was a timeout called before the shot. So that's the official call, is that Coach Kohler called a timeout before Hatton's shot went up. So with 2 seconds left, it's Concordia ball. Hatton will inbound in front of the student section, and the Cougars will have a chance to win it. A second breath of life as the Kohler timeout saved them. And now Ricky Yan calls a timeout for the Cardinals. So to reset for you folks at home who might be a little confused, and trust me, we were too a couple moments ago. Brent Hatton, you saw the heave near half court that almost won it for Concordia. Before Brent put up the shot, Coach Kohler called his final timeout. No one realized that at the time, and that's why the teams rushed the court. Ann Arbor started to celebrate, but the timeout was called, so 2 seconds left, and now one last gasp for the Cougs.
My heart is pounding out of my chest right now. This is absolutely
We'll go pick it
insane. I don't even know if I want to leave my seat. This game is going insane. Everybody in the gym is on their feet. This is what CIT basketball is right here.
An instant classic. Ann Arbor led at halftime, and they haven't given up the lead since. If they do, it'll mean the first Cougar CIT win since 2011. Hatton will inbound with the big Paul Zisk in front of him. Gladney. I don't think he got it off in time. Basket is no good. Ann Arbor's going to win it. A lot of the Cougar students think it's good, but he did not get that off in time. Ann Arbor celebrating as if they've won. The Cougars are calling for some sort of second look, but the officials have already left the court, and the teams are ready for the handshake line. One more look. He clearly did not get it off in time. You see the Cougar celebration, but that's an Ann Arbor victory. And the Cardinals can celebrate a CIT win here in Chicago.
What an effort, though, by the Cougars in that second half, though. They had nothing going out at halftime, but look at what they did. They brought it back. They found their offense. Even though they came out just a little bit short today, you have to be positive on the outlook for the rest of this Cougars team.
In a few moments, we'll hear from Ricky Yan, and of course, ask him about the sequence in the final few seconds. Another look at the Gladney layup. Great play design. But he just missed that, just a second too late.
And you see the Cougar Crazies going over and congratulating their team because they know even though they lost, they still did put on a great effort.
And here comes Ricky Yan into the Cougar Sports Network broadcast booth. Coach Yan will join me after a heart-pounding 67-66 win for the Cardinals. Coach Yan, welcome on in. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, the mic's a little tough. Yeah. Awesome. So welcome in. If you'll come join me over here. All right, Coach, so your team wins. 1-point win, but take me through the last couple seconds. What did you hear from the officials? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was three pretty interesting, questionable calls, and I thought sometimes that's a game. Some go your way, some don't. I thought the first two went against us with a quick 5-second call and putting that much time back on. They originally said 2.7, and we were obviously, you probably saw it, pretty animated about that, and turned out to obviously be the difference in the game that they did put it back to 2.0 instead of 2.7. Is I don't know. I thought the shot was good.
The layup?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought we lost, and obviously those extra .7s for sure would have counted. So not really sure what they saw on either one. I thought the timeout was the wrong call, and I thought waving off the basket was the wrong call. So I guess sometimes two wrongs make a right. I thought we won it originally, so it worked out that way.
You thought you won, then you thought you lost. Well, hey,
yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
We're in reality. You won the game. How does it feel to pick up a CIT dub?
It feels good. We were fortunate that we 3 years in a row had the opportunity to play for the CIT championship. This is the first year since 2016 that we didn't get that opportunity, and our guys were obviously disappointed. Our juniors and seniors had never played the early game on Saturday, so I was proud of the way that they came out and didn't treat it like it was a consolation game. I mean, it was obviously a great environment here. Thought both teams played really hard. I thought, both teams probably didn't quite play to their level. I'm sure Concordia Chicago feels the same about their guys, but both teams were not going to give up. I think there were multiple 5-6 point leads that teams just kept chipping away at, and definitely feels better to have a 1-point win than a 1-point loss today.
First half, your team was dominated on the offensive glass. You totally did a 180. You dominated Concordia Chicago on the offensive glass. In the second half, what sort of adjustment did you make?
I mean, that was our number one key going in, and we obviously didn't live up to it and then the number one key at halftime. We've really struggled with rebounding this year. We've been towards the top of our league in scoring and offensive efficiency and a lot of those numbers, but we've been a really poor rebounding team, especially defensive rebounds. I don't know what we gave up tonight, but I think we're in the middle of like 8 or 9 straight games giving up 15 offensive rebounds at least. And tonight, having a size and athleticism advantage, that was what we talked about before and at halftime, is that rebounds will be an indicator of how we're playing. If they are out rebounding us, then it means they're playing harder than us. They're not just bigger, stronger, more athletic. And if that's the case, then that's probably going to give them an opportunity to stay in the game. If we win the rebounding game, that's probably an indicator that we're playing well. And it will also probably propel us on to continuing to play better. And I thought there was a couple really big stretches there where that was the case. Obviously, Gerald Booker's offensive rebound putback ended up deciding the game. So I'm proud of the adjustment they made in the second half.
Coach Yan, congrats on the CIT win, and thank you very much for joining me. And we will be back in a couple of minutes here on the Cougar Sports Network, Game 3. Women's Championship between Nebraska and Wisconsin in a few minutes. Stay tuned, folks.